Here is our MR52 S3B board. This is a downstream device from one of our controllers. That could be the LP1502 or LP1501 controller. This is a non-Ethernet device. It uses 485 and is configurable through an SIO configuration. So let's just kind of go down the terminal blocks and we'll talk about what we're looking at. So just on the right-hand side, we have our reader 1, reader 2 inputs. This will be our voltage in, voltage out, out to the reader, as well as our LED and clock wiring. So please refer to the manufacturer's guides on what their color combination is to achieve these inputs. Moving on down here, we have our address block. So we have a knowledge base article that's in reference to addressing and configuring, as well as some troubleshooting steps when getting these MR52 boards online. So I'll just touch quickly on this. So for example, this pin 1 being on, that's address 1. Pins 6, 7, and 8 are also on. That's for our baud rate. So 6, 7, and 8 will be on with every MR52 that's down line. The address terminations will obviously change. So for address 1, it's 1 on. For address 2, it's 1 off, 2 on, just as an example, but we have a whole knowledge base about that. We also have our outputs. So these will wire back to our D8 module that we referred to, our C8 module that we referred to earlier. We will wire these either normally open or normally closed back to the black input blocks on the C8. Moving down the left-hand side, we have our inputs. So starting at TB1, these go in pairs. So input 1 would be the first 2 pins, input 2 would be 3 and 4 of TB1. So our input 1 might be a door position sensor, our input 2 might be a REX for door 1, and then input 3 and input 4 might be a door position sensor and a REX for door 2, just as an example. Moving on down here, we have a tamper and panel fault as well. You can wire those in for additional inputs. Down below that, we have TB6. This is our RS485 terminal block. This is for our SIO daisy chain. So here we have white and black, both daisy chained, moving on to the next module down line with the shield. And then below that, we have TB7, which is our voltage in and ground. This is typically coming off of the D8 inside of our QXEP panels, just powering that with a dedicated fused output. So another few things to make mention of when using our life safety power enclosures, we will provide these panels with 24 volts. So when the MR52 is powered by 24 volts, you want to go ahead and move your reader power jumper to 12 volts. If, for example, you are powering this MR52 with a 12 volt config, you could then move that jumper to pass, which is simply pass through. It's passing that 12 volts onto your readers. If this was in pass in the 24 volt configuration, you would be sending 24 volts to your readers, which could obviously damage them. That concludes the MR52 S3.